Hey everybody, I am making this video in preparation that I won't be able to actually be able to do a Google Meet live. I am available for questions. I have the Google Meet up, but you're now watching this video because I'm having to work from home and I've got little kids, and being able to have this long stretch of a lesson will be easier to do through a video instead of having kids interrupt. Now, if you have questions, I'm available in the Google Meet, so make sure you're jumping into the Google Meet and asking questions. I'm also going to be on GoGuardian and available to you if you need any help. We are also going to have a link in the agenda that is available for you to reach out to Miss Cecil, and she will be on a Google Meet throughout this class period. She is our English teacher that's helping out with this. So if you want to ask her questions, you're welcome to ask her as well. So I have that link in the agenda for class today. So to just introduce what we're doing today, if we look at our need to knows, we have almost marked everything off. I marked off how do we create our career pathway flyer, because you did that on Tuesday and Wednesday. Make sure that is complete. If you haven't finished that, you need to make sure that gets done. That is a big grade for this class thus far, so make sure you get that done. Today, we're going to start looking at how do I use MLA format? How do I make MLA citations? And how do I make an MLA works cited pages? We're going to do today and tomorrow. So if we scroll down on the list, and your agenda might look a little bit different from when I'm making this video, but essentially the two things we're trying to accomplish today is MLA citation, PowerPoint workshop and video, CECO resource. And then number two is the MLA citation practice assignment, which is due today on Thursday. So if we go down, I want to go into student view so you can see what is going on from your view. So if we go down, we are looking at, we've done the benchmark 4 pathway flyer. So we're looking at this MLA citation PowerPoint worksheet or workshop and video. So obviously this is the video I'm creating, so I'll link that eventually. And this link right here will take you to the citation PowerPoint. So we're going to look at this citation PowerPoint. That's going to walk you through step by step how to make a citation. So before we get into, let me present this so you can see it. So we are trying to understand how to make citation, what citations are, and to explain what a citation is, it is really important to understand that in professional work, and I'm going to go big screen here, in professional work, it is really important to show that you've done your research and that you understand your sources, okay? Sorry, I had to move locations because someone was doing some construction. But a citation is important in work because it shows that you're credible. It shows where you got your information and allows for your reader to see that you have the authority because you've done the research, okay? So whenever we look at sources, and some of the sources we had down at the bottom all the different citations. Wikipedia, for example, when we first talked about them, they do citations trying to show that they are a reputable, authoritative source, although we know that it can be changed. But the most important thing is to remember that doing citations gives you credibility. So let's take a look at some sources here and how to make these. So this is the 8th edition, and I have to give thanks to Miss Payne because she helped to put this together. But if we look at this is an example of an MLA citation for the BLS.gov website that we've been using concerning the profession of a high school teacher. So this is what we would use as the source if we're doing the correct MLA citation as it is defined for us to use. And if we wanted to look at the website, we can go over to the website here and click that link. And this is that website that we're using, okay? So you are using one of these websites for your research. So eventually you will make a citation just like I have for this, for your paper. So this is the website we're citing. So if we go back, we can actually look at, I'm going to bounce back and forth a little bit here. And let me see if I can get this to make it a little bit bigger. I think you can see that okay if you blow it up. So we can see that we have, it says high school teacher, occupational outlook handbook, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the date that it was released, and the website. So that tells them exactly where we're getting our information. Now, the way that breaks down, and we can kind of see some of those pieces if we bounce back and forth here. So we can see that high school teacher comes from the title, high school teachers. We can see that occupational handbook comes from right up here, occupational outlook handbook. We can see that U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is right up here, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. We scroll down, we can also see that down here. So we can see all this information from the website. The date is available right down here, right here. So last modified. You can actually see the suggested citation that they have, which is very similar to what we have going on. A little bit different format than what we're wanting to use for MLA, but it's pretty close. So we want to make our own MLA citation to make sure it's correct for the purposes that we're using. And then finally, the website. Okay. Now we can actually see that how an MLA citation breaks down is formatted just like this. So the author's name is first, last name, comma, first name. Now you'll notice I don't have an author's name for this because we don't have an author for this website. Okay, we don't have an author, anyone that has put their name saying that they are the ones that have wrote this. Okay, and a lot of websites you'll run into that, and that's okay. But there are many websites, and mainly like news articles and things like that, you will see the author's name. So it's okay if you skip some of this information if you can't find it, but if the information is available, you need to make sure it's included in the citation. So you start with last name, comma, first name, period, and then you do quotation marks around title of short work or title of short work. And the reason it's called short work is because it is the, think about it as it's the smallest part of the website that's giving you detail. Okay, so if we have this big title at the top, and then we have another big title, and then we have this tiny title, that's actually containing our information. So that's why it's called short work, because it's usually the shortest amount of work. So this can be, and we'll go into that in more detail in a minute, but just to kind of hit that, container title is the bigger picture. So what the short work is contained within, okay? And then the publisher is who put the information out, and then the date is day, month, year. So think it goes smallest to biggest. So day and then month and then year is the order. So like you'll see the 1st of September 2020 is the date, followed by a comma and then the URL. Okay. Now let's look at each of these steps together. Okay. So the first step is, and we can go back to the presentation mode. So the first step is the author's name. The last name, comma, first name, followed by a period. So it'll always have a period after the name. And all of this punctuation and things like that are crucial to a correct citation. So make sure your punctuations are correct. So if there is no author's name listed, skip it. Do not write anything. Okay, so we know that if we don't have an author's name, skip it. Now, if there's more than one author listed, use the first one followed by et al. And et al. Just means and others, okay? So an example would be if our author was James Madison, we could put Madison, comma, James, comma, et al. With a period, okay? And I kind of reminded you here, put a period at the end of this information. So our first part of our citation is going to be last name, comma, first name, followed by a period. And you can see that in our little breakdown here. Last name, comma, first name, followed by a period. The next step is the title of short work. So like I said, it is the shortest or smallest part of kind of what you're looking at. This is the title of the article, chapter, photograph, etc. In other words, the short work used. So a good way to think about this is if I am referencing a book chapter, okay, so I'm citing a book, the short work would be the chapter of the book, while the container would be the actual book, okay, because the chapter is contained within the book, okay? So whenever we're looking at this website, that high school teacher is actually that short title because it was just the title of the article, okay? All right, so the next step is title of, oh, and that the short work always has quotation marks around it and ends with a period. So let's go back to our example. We've got high school, we skipped the author's name because there's no author. So we start with quotation mark, short, the title of short work surrounded by quotation marks, ending with a period. So the period's inside of the quotation marks, followed by the title of container. So the title of container is long work, and we'll talk about this later, but that is always italicized. Okay, so you italicize that by going up to the formatting of the you highlight it and then you go up, and you know how you bold or underline something, the italics is the I that kind of looks like it's skewed to the side, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But the title of container is always italicized when you type it, and then if you're handwriting it, which we usually won't handwrite it, you underline it, okay, because it's tough to write italicized. So this is the websites, books, newspaper, so the containers, okay. So if you're doing a chapter of a book, the container would be the name of the book, or for a website, it's the name of the website. So if we go back to this, or wherever you're finding the title of the web of the article within. So for ours, it's actually the Occupational Outlook Handbook. Okay, so if we go back to our website and we look, we see that we have the title of our article, High School Teachers. And then we have the container. What this is within is the Occupational Outlook Handbook. Okay. So once we have that, we know that is our title of the container. We're finding high school teacher article within the Occupational Outlook Handbook. Okay. So our next step is, and that is again italicized and ends with a comma. Okay, so use a comma at the end of the container. Okay, so we're talking about punctuation. We go period, period, comma. Okay, so period after name, period after the title of the short work, and then a comma after the container. So I know this seems, why does it matter so much? Why does it matter what punctuation? But it's very important to the format because it's unacceptable if you don't format it properly. It's kind of like a math equation. You have to get all the math correct. Okay. The next one is publisher, and we see publisher doesn't have quotation marks. It doesn't have italicized, but the only thing is it ends with a comma. So the publisher's names are given in full, including the business, except for words like company or incorporated. Don't stress about that too much right now, but when an organization is both a container and the publisher of work, only use it once, okay? So on some sources, you will have it to where you'll have like the title of the article, and then the it would be like the Occupational Handbook is also the name of the website, okay, or the name of the publisher. But in this case, it is not that way, okay, because the publisher is actually the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And you usually find this down at the bottom, who has published the information. We know that U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics publishes the Occupational Outlook Handbook, which holds the high school teacher's article within it. Okay, so it seems like a lot, but it really isn't. If you slowly break down each step, you can get through this. Now, if there is no publisher, skip it. Do not write anything. Most of the time, you will be able to find a publisher, okay, at the bottom of a website or in the front of a book, or something like that. So if it's a newspaper company, or like the New York Times or the Messenger Inquirer, that is your publisher. Okay, it's whoever's putting the information out. And again, that ends with a comma. So we're going, looking back, we go end with a period with quotation marks, end with a comma, and we are italicized, and then end with a comma on the publisher. So the next one is the day, month, year of publication. Again, with the date, remember smallest to largest, Okay, so day, month, year. Okay, if you're missing either the day or the month or the year, obviously you want the year first, okay? Or like the most important part is the year followed by the month. So it's okay if you only have January of 2020 or September of 2020. So it's okay if you're missing the day, and it's also okay sometimes if you're missing the month. Obviously, you need to have the year because it wouldn't make any sense to not have that. So use a comma after the publication date. There is no comma in between the middle of day, month, and year. So usually the way we write we'd put like November 18th, comma, 2020, okay, which is my birthday, November 18th. You usually put a comma, but on this, no comma in between the day, month, year, okay, only at the end right here, okay. If there's no publication date, skip it, don't write anything, okay, but usually, hopefully you can find a publication date. All right, and our last thing is the URL, okay, which is the website link, okay? So you're going to take the URL, include everything after http:// or http or https://, so the www dot so on and so forth, okay? And then at the very end of the URL, which is the end of your citation, you're going to put a period, okay? So if we look at all this together again, we have last name, comma, first name, period, quotation marks, title of short work, period, end of quotation marks, container title, period, and that's italicized, publisher's name, comma, day, month, year of publication, comma, URL, period. Now, that seems like a lot, but if you take it one step at a time, it's really not too difficult, okay? And we will show you how to make this easier in the future, but first we have to understand how this works. And this is going to, again, allow for you all to see this, okay? And allow for your readers to know where you're getting your information, okay? So if we look at MLA works cited page formatting, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Actually, we're going to skip this slide for now. We'll come back to that. But we're going to practice some MLA. So we're going to head over and we are going to do the practice. So we go back to third and fourth or fifth and sixth, whatever class you are in. We're going to go to the MLA citation practice assignment. Okay, so let's take a look at the MLA practice assignment that is due today. It says, for this assignment, open the template that is located below the drop box. You will be practicing with MLA citations. Make sure to follow along with the video linked in the agenda, which I'm doing right now. So obviously you all will be doing this, and I'm going to go into the student mode that you guys can see how to do this. So what I would do is I would open up this and then kind of resize where you can watch the video and work on this at the same time. And it's okay if you pause the video and go back and forth. I'm okay with that. But if you really, I think the best thing to do is to have the video in one area and then the citation practice in another. So I'm opening this up. So I didn't put the instruction here because by now you guys should know how to create an attachment from template and submit it and open it up. So I'm not going to keep putting those instructions in because you all should know how to do that by now. But I'm going to show you right now. You're going to go down to create an attachment from template. It will open up the template, save the template for you. And then you're going to hit submit my work right away. Don't forget to hit submit my work because it will not submit it because you'll forget to do it. And we're going to open up and we will have that available to you. Okay. All right, so let's continue working here. All right, so we have our MLA practice assignment here, opening it up. Sorry, I had to pause for just a second to get everything situated. So obviously, if you need to pause, you can pause and continue recording or continue working and come back. But let's look at this assignment. So for this assignment, we are going to practice putting in each of these citations, okay? So the MLA citation format, I put that up here for you. Last name, comma, first name, title of short work, container title, so on and so forth, okay? And then I put our first example, high school teacher, occupational outlook handbook, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, that I'd shown you in the PowerPoint. So let's do the second one together. So these first four are examples of what you will create for yours, but you're going to practice using the teacher ones that I used for my research because I was researching how to be a high school teacher. Okay, so so we're going to do the Indeed.com one here. So I'm going to open up that website. We're kind of working through these first ones together. And this is that website that I was looking at. And so the first thing I'm wanting is the last name, comma, first name of the person that posted this. So I'm looking through for anyone's name. And I've looked at this before. There is no one person name on this. So what do? The first thing is I skip the last name, first name. So I'm going to go straight to title of short work. And the title of short work starts with a quotation mark, okay? And I'm going to zoom in on this so you guys can see it a little bit better. Like this. Let's go to view. I think that's best. Okay, so I put a quotation mark there. Let's see if I can go a little bit bigger. If that's perfect. So I put a quotation mark because I'm going to start and I'm going with title of short work. So I'm looking for that title of short work, and that is going to be this right here, American Sign Language Teacher, Teacher Certified. So that is mine. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy it. That's a little easier. That's okay if you copy and paste it. Now, here's my issue is it's going to come in looking like this. So I just need to reformat that to 12-point font and not bolded. And actually, I think I was at 11-point font, and I think everything else is Arial, which honestly, I want everything to be Times New Roman, and you won't have to do this. I'll have it formatted for you, 12-point font. So now that's fixed. I'll make sure to do that on the actual original. Everybody's good. So you don't have to worry about this later, but I'm going to do that for you now so that it is easier for you all. So it already should be what you need it to be. So again, I copy and pasted American Sign Language Teacher dash Teaching Certified, and then I'm going to end with a period because you can see the period right there, and end with a quotation mark. So that's my first part of this application. So American Sign Language Teacher dash Teaching Certified. So that is that. So my next thing I'm looking for is the title or container title. So I'm looking for what is this contained within. So I'm looking on the website, looking up, and it looks like for mine, it's going to be education and instruction. Okay. So I can see that because it's taking me from education and instruction. Within that, it is going to be the jobs for education and instruction website. So that's the title of my container. So I'm going to go back to the MLA citation practice, and I'm going to put, just following along right with this, I'm going to put a space, and then I'm going to do italicized because title of container is italicized, and double check what it is. It's education and instruction. So I'm going to do education and instruction. And I'm going to finish that with a period. Okay, and then I can unitalicize, put a space, and now I'm looking for my publisher. So you guys are working right along with me. I'm going to slow down for a second. Remember, you can pause the video. Hopefully you've got your screen split to where you're going, kind of watch the video and go back and do what I'm doing, working with me. There's no reason for y'all not to have this correct. Education and instruction. So now moving on to my publisher. It's not italicized or anything, and we know it's going to end with a comma. So my publisher is going to be the Indeed website. Okay, if I scroll all the way down, you'll see that this is 2020 Indeed. That is who is publishing this information is Indeed.com. Okay, so we are going to do just Indeed. Okay, and that is going to end with a comma. We're going to put a space, and now we're looking for a date. So let's see if there is a date associated with this posting. So looks like it's telling me it's 30 plus days ago. And I'm not seeing any other dates otherwise. I'm going to click on and go over here. Scroll down. Let's see if I can actually figure out court job. No, it's not going to let me have a date. So I'm not actually seeing a date. So I know it was about 30 days ago. Let's see if it gives me a count on. So it was more than 30 days ago. Okay. So I don't have an official date. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is skip the date on this. Now I can kind of guess at the date being in 2020, so because it was in the last 30 days. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and write that it was in 2020 because I don't have an official day or month, but I'm going to do 2020 because I know it was within 2020. Okay. Then I'm going to put a comma, and now I'm ready for my URL, which is already right up here. I can just very easily copy that and then just put it right back down. Okay. Now, what I also could do is go into the website and copy it from here, but since it's right there for me, why not? Okay. So I always want to end with a period, as it says right here. So we're going to end with a period. And then we want to remove that hyperlink. And the way you do that is you click on the hyperlink and you hit this little remove link. So you click on the hyperlink and you hit remove link. Okay. Now you'll notice it doesn't look as clean and neat as up here. Okay. Because we have this big open space and it's all awkward and everything. We're not worried about that right now. We'll talk about fixing that later. Right now, we're just formatting. Okay. So we're going to go down to number 3, which is your free career test. I'm going to get rid of the other website because I'm done with that one, done with that one. So we're going to just go into your freecareertest.com, and I'm going to open up that website, pop up in another one, and I'm going to start over, okay? So I'm looking for, the first thing I'm looking for is the author. I know that there is no author on this. We've looked at this before. So we're going to scroll up to the top and we're going to say, okay, we're going to skip last name, first name because there's no author. And we're going to go straight into title of short work. Okay. So title of short work, we're going to start with a quotation mark. We're going to go over and the title of short work is right here. What does a high school teacher do? I can go ahead and copy that in and paste it right there. And again, I want to change my fonts and everything. I want to go back down to 12 Times New Roman. And then now right away, there is an issue with this, okay? Titles should be capitalized, okay? So what does should be capitalized? D should be capitalized. A high school teacher do should be capitalized, okay? You don't capitalize A, but what does a high school teacher do? So we fix that. Now there's a question mark because there is a question mark in the title. We're going to leave the question mark. We are going to put a period after that, and then we're going to close it with a quotation mark. All right, so I went and talked to Miss Cecil to double check, and you do not put a period if there's a question mark or an exclamation point. I wanted to double check that. So you do not put a period or exclamation point if you have already a punctuation like question mark or an exclamation point. So we're good to go there. So we're going to go after the title of the short work. We're looking for the title of container. So, and remember the title of container is italicized. So we're going to go ahead and hit that italicized button, and we're going to go back over here and our title of container. So we're looking around. We know we have your free career test. And then we have Rethinks Old School, Inc. So that is actually, we know that is our publisher. So we're going to say that our title of container is your free career test. Okay. So we're going to go back. We're going to do your free career test. Ends with a period. I'm sorry. Yes, a period. And then we're going to take our italicized off. And now we know that our title of container is at the bottom here. So your free career test is our title container, but our publisher is going to be at the bottom, and it's Rethink Old School. And I'm going to take that together because it's the name of this business. Now, remember, we leave off like company or incorporated and stuff like that. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it back in. And we're going to copy and paste that in. And obviously that is formatted incorrectly. We're going to take the highlight off. We're going to make it dark, and we're going to make sure it is 12-point font. This is just if we copy and paste. It'd be easier if we didn't, maybe. But we can go ahead and hit period after that, because after a publisher, oh, I messed up. After a publisher is a comma. So this is why I'm always checking the format, because you got to make sure the format's correct. And we're going to hit space after Rethink Old School. And we can notice, I'm noticing that the color of our text is not as dark. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing and make sure my text is all dark, the black format. So in Rethink Old School is one word, the way they wrote it. So we're going to keep it one word, as that is how the company is named or the publisher is named. And now we are looking for a date. And as we know, there is no date on this one. Okay, we looked at this one before and there is no date. So we skip the date. Okay, and we're going to go right to the URL. So we have the URL. Slow down here. We got the URL right here. So we're going to copy that. We're going to put that right after that. And what goes at the very end of the URL? A period, the end of the citation. And then we want to remove. We go to that remove link, and that link is gone. And we're good to go. We're going to go on to our next citation. I'm going to go and put a space above this. And we're going to do one more together, and then I'm going to let you do the rest. So we're going to look at this. So we get rid of this website because we're done with it. And we are going to do the admissions, eku.edu. I'm going to open that page up. And this is the admission page, where I'm gathering information about admissions to be able to get into the school. Okay. So this is what we're going to use right here. Okay. So we're going to go back and we're going to start with the author's name. I'm going to go, there's no author on this page. So I'm going to go back up to there, and we're going to skip the author's name. We're going to go straight to the title of the article, or short title. So that's going to be the virtual admissions services is where I'm getting my information. So virtual admission services. Yeah, admissions, plural, I think. Admissions, plural, services. Okay, so we end that with a period and then quotation marks. We put a space, and now we're going to go italicized because this is the title of the container. So the title of container is, now we want to say it's EKU, but it's actually the admissions. So we are looking at the admissions, and then we're looking at the virtual admission services. So we're actually looking at admissions. Okay, so I'm going to put admissions. And then at the end of that, we put a period. Take the italicized off, put a space. Now we're looking for the publisher. So I know that the publisher is going to be Eastern Kentucky University, or EKU. And I see down here they write out Eastern Kentucky University. So I'm going to write out Eastern Kentucky University. And then at the end of that goes a comma. And I'm looking for a publication date. It looks like, I don't think they have a date of when this was last updated. We're looking all over the page here. No, not seeing a date on this page. I can go a little bit deeper here and see. No, okay. So no date is available for this website, so we're going to skip that. We're going to go straight to the URL. So use this right here, copy that, and we're going to paste that in. Now, something I'm realizing, and we put a period at the end, something I'm realizing that we forgot to do, we're going to take out that link, but we are leaving in that HTTPS : / and it said we do not need that. So I'm going to go back in all of my websites, and I'm going to erase that to shorten that website a little bit. Okay, so I did forget to do that earlier, so go back and do that with me. Okay, so once we have those, so the first four I did, or first three plus the one I gave you, at the top, we're done with. I'm going to let you go through the next from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way down to 10. I'm going to let you take care of those. I will give you a heads up on this one. And these are all just different websites just to practice. On this one, there is an author. So you can see right here, video produced by Edward Lawrence. So you're going to do Lawrence, comma, Edward, period for that. So make sure that you are paying attention to that as you are making that source. But you're going to follow through and just keep looking back to this. Now, once you have all of your citations, you're going to come down to the bottom and it says this. So you're going to practice your MLA Works Cited page, okay? And it's very simple, honestly. It says copy and paste the citations that you made above in alphabetical order. Use the first letter in the citation to order them. Each citation should have a hanging indent and should not have white space due to the long URLs, okay? So if we were to do this, I'm going to take this one out and I'm going to copy and paste each down. I'm going to do alphabetical order with the 4 that I have. So the first one would be the A, so American Sign Language. So I'm going to take that one down, copy that, bring that down here. Okay, and I'm going to do a space between. So that's going to make another link. I'm going to get rid of that link. And then I'm going to go back up and I'm going to get my next one. So A was the first one. And then the next one would be H. So you're going with the first letter of the citation. So that's H. And this one already has a hanging indent, which is fine. And then we're going to go to, so H and then so V, WXYZ. Sorry, I had to think for a second. Goodness. So V is the next one. So we're going to kind of go down below this one. I'll put the V in there. And then we're going to grab the next one, which is the W. And obviously, you're going to have other ones done. So you're not really doing this with me, but I'm just kind of showing you how to do it. And we're just making them alphabetized. So now we want to do the hanging dent. We've already done it on this one, but I'm going to show you how to do the hanging dent. You're going to click at the very beginning of the citation. And there's a video right here that just shows you how to do that and get rid of the white space. So if you need help with this again as you're doing this, watch that video. It'll show you how to do it. But you're going to go click on the beginning of that name of that. You're going to go up. And you're going to click on the little triangle that's above, and you're going to go to 0.5. You have to get the triangle, not the square or the rectangle above it, and take that to 0.5. Then you get the rectangle. You have to be very delicate with it, and you're going to take that back down to 0, and that'll create a hanging indent. Then you want to get rid of this blank space here, and we're going to go, and the way we do that is we kind of say, okay, how much could fit up here? And I think almost all of this could fit up there, and then we put a space in between our URL somewhere like this, and that will make it jump up there, okay, and kind of fill in that space, okay? And then we remove the hyperlink or remove the link, and that will clean it up. So it looks like a nice, well-formatted link for us or citation for us. Now this one looks good. Actually, we have a lot of white space here, so we're going to get rid of this white space, and I'm going to see if I can fit all that up, and I can. So I put a little space, and I'm going to get rid of this space, and we'll be good to go with that. And then we're going to come down to this one. This one looks good, but we're going to make sure this one's indented. So we're going to put the cursor in the front. We're going to go to 0.5 with the triangle, and then back with the rectangle to 0. And we have our hanging indent. See if we can squeeze any of this up there. And we can. So that'll make that look nice. Make sure, and then remove that hyperlink, and we are good to go. So I'm going to let you all work on this. This is due at the end of class. Again, I'm available if you need me. And Miss Cecil is also a link in there. So good luck, and let us know if you have any questions. Thanks.